Hello, ladies and gentlemen out there. My name is Kiza Martha, or can call me Mama Family. That is my business name. I'm here again with the topic marriage, and my focus is on preparing for functional marriages. Preparing for a functional marriage. Marriage can be defined as legal or formal, acceptable, or recognized union between a woman and a man who come together as a wife and husband. Before I go into details of what I've prepared, let me first talk about the misconceptions that are in the communities out there about men and women. One of them is that all men are the same. That's wrong. Not all men are the same. Sexually, emotionally, physically, men are completely different. Another one is that women are the same. Get it from me that we are not the same. We are completely different. We have different emotions, we have different looks, we have different personalities, we are sexually different. And another one is that all beautiful women and all handsome men don't make good marriages. That in case you marry them, you will have married a beautiful problem. That is a misconception. And marriages, men, handsome men and beautiful women can make a very good marriage. We have always seen such kind of instances whereby beautiful women have made very good marriages, and also handsome men who have made good marriages. So that one is a misconception. Another thing is that there are universal guidelines that everybody must follow in order to have a successful marriage. That's also a misconception. Since we are unique, there are no universal guidelines for everybody. What works for me may not work for my husband, or what works for my husband may not work for your marriage. We live in different environments and we grew up in different environments, both social and economical. So we cannot have universal guidelines. What works actually is, if we agree to be together, we must agree on certain things. We as two, we must have the following, and that's a must in this case. Effective communication. We must communicate what we want. We communicate what works for us too. We communicate what cannot work for us, and we agree that if this one is not working for me, please respect and leave it. And if this one is not working for you, I can leave it for your own good and for my own good. And more about effective communication. 2, there is compromise. In marriage, prepare to compromise. Certain things you must compromise, whether you like them or not, whether you like it or not, you have to compromise, because there are those that cannot change. if you wanted my character and you don't want my skin color, that one you must agree. You compromise, because all things that cannot change, generally you compromise. Um, Things like size, things like skin color, things like appearance of somebody, things like the voice of somebody. You are not going to change such kind of things. And if you like other things and this particular one you don't like it, just take it. It's a coping skill. There's also negotiation. We have to negotiate. In compromise, we accept that one loses and one gains. But in compromise, it's a win-win. We both have to win. Leave that and I leave this, and life moves on. And all leave it and I also leave it, and we move on as a happy couple. In this kind of arrangement, it is you and me who have to negotiate to be together. The third party may come in, but is not so relevant in our relationship. We have come in as adults, and this is our marriage. It's not the third party's marriage. So the first person to agree on what to do and not what to do, how to run our marriage, is between you and I, who have accepted to be together. Traditionally, marriages would be arranged by parents. They look around and see a good family and they say, there you can pick a lady and there you can pick a boy and stay together. But that one also had its own shortcomings. In case of any problem, they run back to the parents and they're like, you see, you did not make a good choice for me. But in this kind of arrangement, you are responsible for your own choices, because you met this person and we expected to have studied the person. Though studying is not something that can be done in 1 or 2 days. The person can be studied as long as you live, and things keep on changing. You see, the only thing that is very constant in life is change. Changes are there every day. The person you met yesterday may not be the person you have today. So that's why we must communicate all these. I'm changing because of ABC. Maybe there's a disease here. Maybe there's a complication here and there. Maybe extended family influence. All these ones, constant communication and effective communication is very important in marriages, and especially when you are preparing to be together. Men keep a lot of information by nature. That is, it's not nature, it's the culture. It's cultural thing that has sensitized the men to keep information to themselves. If you are to keep it to the rest of the people, but disclose almost everything to your spouse. And if you don't, you may be planting a seed that is growing in your family to spoil your marriage. Bring it the way it is, bring it, sit together and and talk about it. If it is solvable, solve it. That is uh, something very important. And another thing is time. Let us give boys and girls who are growing into men and women time to prepare and find out what kind of person they want to be with for the rest of their lives. We should not hurry people. Immediately a person leaves college or university, and the party, graduation party, the questions include where is the girl you are preparing to marry, where is the boy you are preparing to marry. But this person we are asking whom they are preparing to marry does not have a job yet. Or are we going to support them through? Give them time. And even if we support them, is that sustainable? What about if a person takes a long time without a job? We are the same people going to start complaining. You see, the person hurried to marry, and in the process, a child has come, or children have come, and we cannot continue to support a failure. In that case, a person is named a failure, yet we are the ones who hurried this person into marriage. Let them take their time. Talking about time, time is a very big resource, a very big one, um, that should be given respect. Naturally, we have time as a resource, we have material resource, we have also we as human resources. Traditionally, men and women would marry with those three resources without any money involved, and marriages were very easy. But today, somebody initiated, and by innovation, money came in, and it's a very strong resource that has caused a lot of problems. Money has to be in, money has to solve problems. Somebody must have money, and marriages uh, must have a lot of money in order to survive. If you are to bring this lady into our family, if you are to be born into our family, therefore you must pay this amount of money in huge amounts. And you see that in these days, introductions have become commercial, very commercial. If I have 5, 6 girls I'm praying, that is a lot of money that should come into my family. I should sell them this much bride price. Can you imagine the bride price? In some cultures, the bride price is not there, and personally, I also dislike it. A bride price, somebody is sold. Is there any amount of price that goes for a person? I think that kind of thing, parents, I'm also a parent, we should avoid looking at a bride price for girls as something very important, and our in-laws must pay all that much, or they fail to get this daughter from here. But remember, all this one we are asking for, when our daughter is taken, they are going to also to struggle to make their life They will have to survive, but how will they survive when we have grabbed all their resources from the man, and because we want the money? That one is not good, and it can be also a source of bringing issues into our marriage, where something slight in the marriage is like, I bought you, you bought me, or I paid so much for you in order to have you in this family. And then the in-laws, where you are married, start looking at you as an asset, and they expect all this much because you were bought. And how much money is that anyway, to buy a daughter of somebody? Let us be like the way it was. Maybe traditionally it was better. A few elders and daddy and mommy would bless the marriage, and the marriage would work very successfully. The churches are not even asking for a lot. Even if you go to them, they can tell you that 4 people can be enough for a holy matrimony. But I don't know how it has come about for families to expect a lot and a lot of money, a lot of guests. You expect a district, the whole district of guests to come and attend. Those you know and those you don't know should all come. I was one time surprised. I had gone to the hospital. I had taken my child for immunization, and after the activity, the man, it was done by a man, and I think he was a male nurse, and he gave me a budget. It was like, oh, budget? What is it for? That it is for my introduction ceremony. Can you imagine a patient or a client who has visited your hospital has also become such intimate on the first day that she also deserves your introduction budget? I think we are losing it. We are losing it, and it has made people beggars where we work, in churches, along the way. These ceremonies are about to be put on billboards so that everybody contributes to this introduction, because they have to come and attend. Let us get back to what it was. Minimize the numbers. It should have people, family members. I think it should be limited to friends and family, not anybody that you come across. And also, it should be something that does not attract a lot of money to be asked, to be given to the side of the bride, because, like I mentioned before, that one has an issue as these people grow their marriage. Then things like I want a tall boy, I want a handsome one, I want a thin one, I want a fat one, I want a smooth one, I want the one with the houses, I want the one with the fleet of cars. Ladies, And gentlemen, as we prepare, that is not important. We should rather have something like I want an intelligent boy, an intelligent girl. I want a good problem solver. I want a developmental lady. I want a lady who is emotionally competent. That one is extremely important because a person, lady or a gentleman who is not emotionally competent will not make a good marriage, like it or not. I want somebody who loves you, a person who cares for you, a person, your friend. Yes, somebody should be your friend. Um, those ones will prepare a good marriage. You talk about you as you prepare, also go for medical examinations. Look, there are a lot of incompatibilities about couples. Do we match? Are we a perfect match? Things like HIV, AIDS tests, you do them. You do things like rhesus factor, whether our blood, your blood and mine are compatible enough, whether we shall have children or not. Things like all the diseases, let them be tested. Sickle cells, these days, nobody would like to have a child with the sickle cells. It is very difficult to maintain. In everything, prevention is better than cure, and all what I'm talking about here is to prevent problems, community problems and home problems, other than saying, let me get into it. I will cure. Things will work out themselves. Believe me or not, there is nothing that will work out themselves. You must prepare to work out, to make it work out, to make it work. You and your wife, or your wife and you as a man, sit together and make it work. There is nothing that is going to work out themselves. So all that is important, and in this video is just the background of preparing a marriage, preparing for a functional marriage, and it is not comprehensive. I've just given an oversight, and I think it will have like this, let me call it first part, there will be second part, there will be third part. By the time I come to the fourth part, I'm sure we shall have marriage that is functional. Of course, there is no anything that is completely perfect, but you try as much as possible to some level to make it functional, because it is a very big investment. Marriage is a very big investment, and it is a lifetime commitment, and nobody would like to spend the rest of their life in agony, no, in regrets, no. Uh, there are very many workable ways of walking out of it and preparing for it before you start, so that you know how to start, and you know how to go about it. Ladies and gentlemen, another thing that I'm going to end with here is about girls preparing what they want. Culture does not give a woman, especially the African culture, does not give a woman a mandate to choose what they want. They play around it, they play around a boy, and if you can't read between lines, you can't know what the girl wants. I've asked many men around, and the question is, would you like, or would you take a girl who says genuinely, I love you? The answers, the majority, 99% of the boys are like, no, I cannot. Such a woman is maybe sexually used, maybe that kind of a woman is a harlot, is a prostitute. I think that's another misconception out there. Things have changed. Even when the world is changing, it should not leave Africa behind. This girl, if she loves you, what's wrong with that? If she has seen all the qualities that she wants in you, what's wrong with her saying, please, gentlemen, can we be together? I have liked you. And others say that the women's approach is too open. Men start by deceiving around, by walking around it until you accept. And there's also this other thing that a woman is yes. No, it is the other way around, that a woman is no, is always a yes. No, that one is also a misconception. A woman is no can mean a no, and no completely. Because ask all women. By the way, you men who don't know issues about we women, a woman will have to attract men from around 6 years to until they die. And if a woman is going to say yes and no to mean yes to every man, what will that one mean? Every man, all adolescent girls, be your daughters, your sisters and brothers, your mummies, your grannies, if they are genuine enough, they will tell you men keep on approaching them at any age. And by the way, a woman is a very hard-hearted person who will always smile but say no. We don't fight. How many times are we going to fight? They start as early as possible. 9 years, 10, 11, men are on their case, and they have a way they play around it until that time they marry, or they get this one, they accept. So saying that a woman is no is always yes is not correct at all. Because at this time, at my age and the age of the ladies older than me, we are still saying no to men, whether we are married or not. Men will still come, but we have continued to say no. So our no should not be mistaken for a yes. Men out there, please uh, accept boys who are not married out there. If this lady approaches you and she's like, I would like to be with you, give them time, see if they have the qualities you want. If they do, take them. There is no any problem, ladies and gentlemen. For now, this is the beginning. Let us meet again in the second part of marriage and good preparation. Um, Thank you very much for your time, and bye bye.